and for the ridiculous, the moment of glory of the one and only handsome, debonair, smooth-couth Hunky Bill, who wiped the floor with the people who tried to say that he's a racist and discriminates. Hunky Bill. No Perogies, please. Hunky, after the break.
I wear this with pride. With pride, my man.
As a member myself of an identifiable ethnic minority used to smears about drunken, cheap, mean Scotchmen, I kept my mouth shut all through the long travail of Hunky Bill. Now, we're all in favor of civil liberties. We're all against slurs and discrimination. But it is, without exaggeration, a landmark decision for common sense, despite the attitude of the Human Rights Commission, as Hunky Bill yesterday was cleared and given a halo of sainthood by Dermot Owen Flood, your Irish investigator. Now, tell me, Hunky Bill, it really is a bit of a slur to call yourself and everybody else of your background an ethnic bohunk, isn't it?
Well, you might take offense to bohunk, but Hunky Bill is beautiful.
What does Hunky Dory mean?
That's a Ukrainian rowboat. No, it's Hunky Dory means A-OK.
What's a Hunky Dory is a Ukrainian rowboat?
That's a little joke. Somebody might take offense.
I'm a little bit slow on that. But as you well know, hunky to your enemies meant a lout, a nitwit, a scrambled brain, a lummox, a galoot, and many other things, didn't it?
Right.
When did this all start?
Approximately 2.5 years ago, when I was kicked out of the Dauphin Ukrainian Festival, and a complaint was received by the Human Rights Commission in BC. It was coordinated between the two. And from there, they kept on harping until finally a board of inquiry was formed. Nola Landucci, the previous human rights director, wanted it thrown out because she said there was no evidence, and she wanted it thrown out. And eventually she was thrown out, or she quit. And
the prosecution completed. What would this, how many days of hearings did you have to attend?
A full week, and the last night it wrapped up around 8:30 on the Friday night. The legal costs on both sides and the transcripts and everything else, untold thousands and thousands of dollars. The paper said this morning $6,500, but...
$6,500? Be closer to $65,000.
Yes.
After all, Dermot Owen Flood had to get his fancy legal fees for all the work he did on it. Not that I'm asking about them, but don't let's kid ourselves. This only cost $6,500. Now, the next step now, what did it cost you personally? Would you call this persecution by the Human Rights Commission?
Yes, to me.
What did it cost you?
It'll be about $15,000 in legal fees and other expenses up to now.
And in lost business and bad feeling?
Well, the lost business comes from not being able to franchise. A supermarket chain delisted me, said for lack of sales, but that wasn't the case because my sales were on the upswing. They wouldn't handle my product because it was controversial. I would say between $300,000 and $400,000 is a loss of gross retail sales.
And there's nothing you can do about that except build up your business again.
Right, well, make more pierogies, make more money.
Now that you've been given a particular clearance. But there is another aspect to it. It's okay for you, in my honest opinion, to call yourself Hunky Bill and Hunky Bill's Perogies. But supposing you were to start up another franchise called Nigger Joe's Pizzas, that would be nasty, wouldn't it?
Well, for me to do it, I'm not of that background, and if somebody else did it and the food was good, I would patronize it. If the food wasn't good, I wouldn't patronize it.
So you say that there is no ethnic slur used in any name by an individual for his own purposes?
If he wanted to use it, if somebody Italian wanted to open a place called Willie the Wops, which I told Fiorello to do that, Erm, I said open it up and call it Willie the Wops, and have a smorgasbord and 3 wops of spaghetti and meatballs, and on you go. Now, to me, I think that has pizzazz, and if the man was of Italian descent, why not? The food was good.
The issue to me, and I think Dermot Owen Flood put it better, the issue to me, of course, is the freedom of the individual to describe himself as he so wishes. Would that be right?
That's right.
What was the quote from Alice in Wonderland that Dermot Owen Flood gave you?
He, after he read both sides of testimony, what hunky meant, and my Alfred G. Hole says hunky means superlatively good, which I like to think that's what I am. Now, after he wrapped it all up, he said, in other words, as Alice in Wonderland put it, words mean exactly what the speaker intends, nothing more and nothing less. Mm-hmm. Now, that's so simple that I guess that's why people can't understand it.
What do you think about the Human Rights Commission?
Well, I guess...
What made them do this? Mind you, they had a lot of professorial evidence from people, I think, at UBC and Simon Fraser, all of whom said that you were guilty of a deliberate racist slur, didn't they?
Yes, I was even cited by one person as promoting racism. Yet when I asked for one specific case where I have hurt someone, they couldn't tell me. My father couldn't read or write English, and this told me all the time when I was a young kid what a great country this was. It's a free country. Things he left the Ukraine for, I'm being subjected to by people here. And most of these people that, my detractors, are all professional business people, and this country has been very, very good to them. Mm-hmm. They're making money. It
would have been all right if you'd ran a Ukrainian multicultural restaurant with all the music and the costumes and whatnot. Nobody would have objected to that, would they?
Well, I have the costumes for people, but they, when they got their $15,000 federal grant, they asked for the grant because it was to see how the term hunky, as in Hunky Bill, affected the Ukrainian Canadians.
You reminded me of something. Let me spell that out. The people who opposed you were given a $15,000 federal grant. Was that to enable them to fight you effectively in front of the Human Rights Commission? Because I believe they denied that. Well, first, you tell me your side of it.
Well, first, the report came out that they used it for legal fees. Then they denied it a few days later. But they received the $15,000 to see how hunky affected people, as in hunky bills.
So they got a $15,000 dictionary grant to build up the case, to put you through the Human Rights Commission, of which you've now been cleared yesterday.
Right.
Now, are they going to appeal it, name of goodness?
I would, well, Hannah Jensen, head of the Human Rights Commission, she talks like she would like to appeal it. And if these people appeal it and waste more of the taxpayers' dollars, I'd get on every MLA and MP and really shake them up and say, why are we wasting the taxpayers' dollars? Let's use it for senior citizens' homes.
The first thing you've got to do is go to the federal government, a $15,000 grant, so you can study and prepare your cultural reply to any appeal that comes up. If they can get one for $15,000, so can you.
Well, I guess I'll have to, because...
There's going to be a residue of bad feeling, however, because as you well know, there are times when ethnic slurs like paddy wagon, they call a paddy wagon for Irish drunks in the old days in New York, right?
Right.
And I'm not going to go into all the other ones, because for me to use them against somebody else is racist, isn't it?
Yes,
isn't it?
It's, if you're doing it against somebody else.
If I called you a horrible, big, bald-headed bohunk, that's an insult.
Well, I wouldn't worry about the other names. I might worry about bald-headed, because I have got a hell of a crop of hair.
Well, congratulations for the victory of common sense over what? Nitpicking.
Well, jealousy.
Jealousy?
Well, there's...
In the community?
Well, jealousy within a lot of my own people.
Okay, you're now officially Hunky Bill. You're now going to go out and sell your franchises and make back the $400,000 you were denied because of this pestiferous action.
That's right.
I don't care what you call Bill. Phone him and tell him. I think he won. I think he won right and proper. Do you? After the break.